Hello, welcome to the stream today. Today we're going to be diving into creating custom synths inside of Reactor. We're going to create a custom synth in Reactor. So, to begin, let's open up Reactor. And there's several different options inside of Reactor that we have. We have the option to experiment and use the instruments. We have the option to play. We have the option to patch inside of Reactor. And we have the option to build from scratch using custom synths, samplers, and effects. Today we're going to be diving into the building custom synths, samplers, and effects in Reactor. And let's dive in. So, we're greeted with this page here. And I'm just going to quickly go over how the layout works and give you an overview of the functions. So here we have a player tab, which has our basic bento blocks, and we have a library tab, which has our core blocks, and we have a files tab here. So as we dive deeper, let's start with our first basic blank ensemble. That's what you're looking at right here. And first, when we open up Reactor, we select new ensemble, which we just did from the menu, and this creates a fresh new workspace for us to use. This is the workspace. So this is where we build everything from scratch, and from here we'll dive in and we'll start adding an oscillator. So we're gonna go to player, and we're gonna add a bass blocks. So those bass blocks are going to be an oscillator, because we need a sound generation device. And to get our sound started, we're going to add the oscillator from the library tab, from this player tab. And then we found our oscillator in the bento box, folder. So we're going to choose our waveform to begin, and we're going to choose a sine or a saw wave. So we know there's three basic shapes: a sine wave, a saw wave, and a pulse wave or square wave. So we're going to choose a saw. So a saw wave looks something like that. So that's going to create the foundation and a solid bass sound for our new workspace. Now, the saw will give us a thick, gritty sound. So while the sine wave is smoother, we're going to use a saw wave for right now. We can adjust the pitch and get it to sound in the bass range, which is ideally in the 80 to 100 hertz range. So that can be adjusted, but for now we're going to choose this one. So from there, we can then add in our filter to shape the sound. So we're going to add in a filter from the bento box collection. And this filter is going to filter the sound. And we're going to adjust the cutoff to help us control the brightness of the sound, lowering its cutoff and cutting out the high frequencies will give us a richer, deeper bass feel and a heavy feel to the sound. The resonance add will add a bit of punch, and we can add some. So I'm going to add in one more thing so we can get started. So I'm going to go to util, and we're going to add a note into our process. So the note in, what it does is take signals from your keyboard. When I press the note on my keyboard, you can see that a note in signal is being generated. I'm going to move this and put it in order so that it looks like that. So now we're going to connect up our note in. Before we connect that, let's add in an amp to complete our modular setup. So this is an amp from our bento box collection. We go into the folder, add in a VCA amp. So now we connect that amp up to the out imports. So now it would look like this. So in from the pitch, out from the oscillator, and into the VCA. So from there, we connect out to the left and right speaker, and we should be able to generate sound now. So if I turn this up, you should hear sound coming through. And we can modify our cutoff range to cut out the high frequencies. That'll give us a deeper bass sound You can add a little resonance as well. So from that point, I'm going to just turn it off for now. We're going to add an envelope to shape our sound. So an envelope is ADSR, attack, decay, sustain, and release. And it's going to help shape our sound. So let's add it in. Let's add in our ADSR from our Bento Box collection. And it's going to be an amp ADSR. Amp ADSR. So now we're going to connect that up to our gate signal and back into our out of our amp. So we have control over attack, decay, sustain, and release. So if optional is we can add a bit of effects here for a bit of extra flavor, and that will let us add some saturation or to really warm up the bass sound that we're generating. And we can search for something that's gonna help us give us that texture. So let's see what we can find here. If we go into blocks primes, we can go into blocks and add in some distortion. So that's going to go at the end of our chain right here from our left and right of our amp to our out connection of our left and right speakers. So that should add some distortion to our bass sound. Let's turn it back up and check. So we are getting some distortion sounds. So now we have more control. We can actually press a key now. When I press a key on the note in, you can see the amp modulation source lights up. You want to click on the modulation source and turn the modulation depth all the way to 100%, which then allows you to connect and click a note on your keyboard, and you can hear, as you can hear, a note is being played as a pitch. So we can then add let's add a little reverb to that too. So we're going to add that next in the chain. And now we got some reverb on our sound. Okay. Like so. Just so we can see everything and visualize our components. Just moving everything around a little bit. There we go. Okay. So that's our basic bass sound with some reverb on it. So so we can tweak that sound, add some color, and some drive. So there you have it. You have a bass sound just in a few minutes. And we built a custom bass synth that you can use in all your productions. And this is ready for action in anything you want to do. And experiment with the ADSR settings and make it really make it your own. And if you enjoyed this tutorial, make sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell for more reactor tips. And follow along for next time. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.